Hello and welcome everybody to our special podcast from Don't Blame the Movies. Our topic today are the Oscar nominees basically, and with me, of course, like always, is my wonderful, beautiful Canadian co-host Nicole.
Oh, I also feel like you're trying to kiss ass right there.
That's not the point. You just say hi and thank you for the announcement, and then we go from here.
Okay, I'll start all over. Hi. Oh, wow. Thank you for the beautiful, wonderful compliment.
See, that's way better. Anyway, we had a list of movies which were nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Actress. It were 12 movies. We watched them. And I'd say I spin my wheel of names, then we talk about this movie. And after we talked, after we talked about every movie, we just say who's going to win what category.
Okay.
Okay. And in case this is not clear, it's a heavy spoiler here. So a spoiler alert here. So
Well,
yeah,
it's always a spoiler alert.
yeah, but since these movies are that's basically very new. Let's say if you haven't seen them and are really interested in them, maybe watch them before you listen to our segment in the podcast. Because, well, let's call it, some of them really live from let's call it the element of surprise. It's a little bit exaggerated, but you know what I mean. Because, I don't know about you, but I went into these movies completely blindly. I didn't know anything about them.
Yeah, there was actually, I think there might have been one or two that I might have actually looked up to see what they were about, but the majority of them I just went in blindly.
Okay, so we were pretty... Yeah, pretty... Let's call
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah?
I said, excuse me. Sorry, I yawned. I didn't mean to.
No, I'm sorry. I'm already boring.
No, how about we just tell them I just woke up not that long ago from a midnight shift?
Yeah, I know.
Continue.
No, but I just want to say we watched basically all the movies blindly, or most of them. We didn't know nothing about them, so yeah.
Yep.
Then let's start with our first movie. And we spin the wheel of names, and it says... Oh, that's an interesting one. The first movie is called Pieces of a Woman.
That was actually the first one I watched.
It was one of the last ones I watched. So, well, let's talk about it. How did you like it? What didn't you like? And what did you expect, maybe?
I went into this one blindly. And, actually, I was talking to my coworker about it. Funny thing. And she's like, oh, I watched that one. She goes, that one's really good, but I'm going to give you a heads up. It's really intense. So I just threw it on, and you know what? She wasn't wrong. It was intense. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be about because, like I said, I went in blindly. But I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I think I texted you an hour into this movie where I said, this actor doesn't only look like Shia LaBeouf, no, it actually is Shia LaBeouf. I did not know this. This is how little I knew about this movie. I only knew the poster. And from the poster you can't imagine what it's about. Should we talk about what it's about?
Of course.
Okay, so basically this couple has a home birth, I think it's called, and the baby dies, unfortunately, and they have to, well, basically deal with themselves with the grief and everything.
You know what bugged me about it? I understand like her whole grieving process that she went through. It was rough, but like, okay, so you're going with through her and like, I can't remember. Were they married or were they just boyfriend and girlfriend?
Oh, this is a good question, actually. I think they just were. I think they were not married because at the end, when her mother gave him this check, so he basically flies away and never comes back, they never talked about divorce or anything. So I think they were just a couple.
Because like even like after like all this, the mom like came out and said, "I never liked you."
Yeah.
Like like I've never gone through that process where I've ever been pregnant or lost a baby, but like I've known people who've gone through it, and it does change them, and sometimes it builds them stronger together as a couple, and sometimes it just destroys them.
Oh yeah.
So in this case, it definitely destroyed them. But what bugged me about this movie, so there was a court case against her, the midwife,
Yeah.
who helped deliver the baby, and at some point she like lied.
She
She
lied?
like lied. She lied during the court. Yeah, because they questioned her and said at any point did I forget whatever her name was, ask
Oh, yeah, yeah.
or tell you to go to the hospital, and she was like, no, but she did. She said that you need to go to the hospital, and she refused. The mother giving birth refused.
Yeah,
So,
but they came
uh,
up with it like the defense basically came up with this, that the husband or boyfriend or whatever stated that they that she asked if they should go to the hospital, and the mother, I totally forgot the name, sorry, said no. And I think that's why she basically came out with the truth in the end in this court case. But yeah, in her initial asking, she lied. That's true.
yep. I'm happy she came forward though about it.
Yeah. I have to say
So,
though, I mean, I even wrote this down. Like the death of a baby must be one of the worst things a couple can go through.
oh yeah.
And
I've
yeah.
I've known people, well, my aunt, um, she was pregnant and lost the baby, and sadly, she had to carry it
Oh,
until it was a certain term and then deliver it.
that's tough.
Yeah. It was very hard on her. It did make them stronger as a couple. Years later, they were pregnant again. And
Oh, okay.
same thing.
Oh,
A
that's sad.
sibling lost. They miscarried. It made them stronger as a couple, but the grief they went through was like, obviously, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah,
You know?
I think both of us can only talk about it how it must be. We have no. I think we don't have nearly the idea how devastating something like this can be. We can only
Oh,
empathize.
yep. Yep, exactly.
But
It was, go ahead, sorry.
I just want to say, but I mean, it's just my thinking, my expectation. I think it hits the mother the hardest because she has this baby in her for 9 months, and then yeah, or what, I don't know how long, but let's say it dies at birth, then it, it's really, I think it's a very tough topic,
It is.
and the movie handled it very good. To be honest, it was very real, very respectfully. There was never anything I was like, oh, I don't know. It's always like, okay, I can see her do this, or him say that, and whatever. And one thing I just noticed a little bit later when I did research, and I think I watched the trailer because this is just another thing. Don't watch the trailer because it spoils so many things. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
we just did, but never mind.
Mm.
And one thing I noticed while watching the trailer, she was very obsessed with apples, and I didn't get this on my watch the first time, but then I remembered in the court she said her baby smelled like an apple. This is one thing she remembers, and then it clicked to me why she was so obsessed with apples and why she always smelled on them.
Yeah.
And
Because go ahead, sorry.
It's only one thing I just have to say. Even though I'm a man, it was hard hitting for me as well, because I think it was in this month, it was the second movie I watched with a child dying at birth. The other movie was one I watched, well, let's call it for fun, in quotation marks. It was not a movie from our list, but still, it's still sad to see these scenes unfold. So, yeah.
Now, after watching this movie, is she one of your top picks for the best actress?
Yeah, I think I have to look at the list later again, but she is definitely in the top 3.
Choice. And what did you rate this movie?
Wait. You were cut off. I only heard choice now.
It's a good choice. And then I said, and what? And then you said I was cut off. You cut me off.
No, I mean, I only heard choice. I didn't hear what were before it.
Oh, I said good choice.
Oh, okay.
What would you rate this movie?
I gave this movie a 9 out of 10.
I gave it an 8.
Well, it's still good.
Mm-hmm.
So then let's move on to our next movie, shall we? And the wheel says, drum rolls please. And the winner is Sound of Metal.
This is actually the second one I watched.
This was actually the first one I watched.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was very interested in this one because, well, basically this movie is about a drummer of a rock band, and he loses his hearing. That's basically it. Then he wants to buy what's it called? A cochlear implant, I think it was called. Still there?
Yeah, it was almost like you disappeared.
Oh, what was the last thing you heard?
You asked about what the transplant was called. And then it cut out.
No, it was not cut out. This was a question.
Yes, that's what it's called.
Okay.
The difference is, though, like, compared to, like, okay, so because he had to get that transplant, he had to pay for it, right?
Yeah. And I think they said $40,000 or something.
And that's the difference between our healthcare and the States and all the other healthcares. We have free healthcare. So, like, that's like, wow, he had to pay for that.
Well, I'm not so sure if an implant like this gets covered from healthcare.
It depends where you are in the world.
Well, maybe, but
Continue on.
Well, anyways, for me this movie was a little bit interesting to watch because I once had this situation that I think it was my right ear was clogged, so I couldn't hear a thing, and so it was one day I woke up and I heard nothing on the right ear, and this is when you are a little bit, well, I don't want to say anxious or something, but yeah, you're a little bit worried because, oh my god, what happened? Why can't I hear anything? And you're a little bit of in very emotional distress of this. And luckily it was not so bad for me. But he did not have so much luck.
No.
And
Not at all. Go ahead, sorry.
I just want to say it have to be extra frustrating when you're a musician after all, and then you lose your hearing.
There's also another musician who lost his hearing and made excellent.
You were cut off again.
I was cut off?
Yeah, you just said he made excellent
music.
Okay. Well, I could have guessed that.
Do you know who it is?
Beethoven.
Yes, sir. But
yes, I know my musicians.
Completely get it. Like how, I don't know personally, because it always goes with that debate, right? Like, so if you had to choose to lose eyesight or hearing, what would you choose?
Yeah, this is one thing I wrote down, like losing the sense of smell, sight or hearing is one of the worst fears for me, because I can't imagine this. I can't imagine a world without sound. I can't imagine a world without visuals. I can't imagine a world without smells or tastes, even feelings.
Yeah, it's true. So you're definitely a fortunate one to have all of those senses.
Of course, everyone who has all the 5 or maybe 6 senses is so fortunate to have them. Because I think once you lose one of them, you just realize how big of an impact this particular sense had in your world. Because now we take everything for granted, like this tastes like this, and this music, oh, it sounds okay, but it's shitty music, and so on. But if you can't hear anything anymore, then I think you miss music so badly. I would miss music so badly.
I would too. I would miss it. But I don't know, like if you had to choose to lose eyesight or hearing, I don't know what I would go with. A part of me feels like hearing, but then again, I love music and I love movies.
Yeah, same.
Because I'm like, if I chose hearing, I won't have to hear the assholes. But then if I choose eyesight, you miss so much beauty in the world. And it's like, and then I don't have to see the assholes. So which one do you choose?
Yeah, exactly.
But I do just say, I liked how it bugged me though, but I like how they did it. Like they made you hear what he was hearing. So like, it was like that, like his hearing was going and you were kind of feeling it, but it also bugged me because it I don't know how to explain it. It was just annoying. It was oh God, because they made you feel what he's feeling.
Oh yes.
But it wasn't, and then it was so, when he got the implant put in, it was it wasn't even worth it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought, because the way they basically sold it to him in the movie was yeah, you can do this and you can hear again. I mean, technically they were right, but then once I heard the sound that this implant made, I was like, oh, that's why this movie is called Sound of Metal.
Yeah.
And honestly, I a little bit, it broke my heart at the end when his girlfriend and her father were singing this song, and you heard this beautiful piano playing and them singing, and then it switched to his basically point of view of hearing, and it sounded so awful.
Yeah, it sounded like shit.
Oh yeah.
And then, but at the end though, when he removes it and it's pure silence, it was he was just at peace with it.
Oh yeah.
Because it was he was struggling with the fact that, okay, so he's losing his hearing, he was a musician, then he went and he was with that guy in that group, to kind of like learn how to like adapt and all that stuff to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but still in the back of his mind, he was like, this isn't for me. You know, I want those implants. And then he went and he got them, and it was like, wasn't worth it. Nope.
Yeah. But
so I liked it.
Speaking of this guy in this group, I very much liked the group itself.
Mm-hmm.
That they are, what's it called? American Sign Language, I think.
Yep.
Using it. And we were provided no subtitles for this. So we felt exactly the same as Ruben felt at his first dinner scene. We had no idea what they were talking about. We felt so left out, and we felt pretty much alone with him.
Yep.
Because everyone basically was, let's call it, talking around him, and he had no idea what was going on, and neither did we.
Yep.
And
it's true.
Also, I have to say this, I think his name was Joe, the old guy that managed this hearing thing. He did a pretty good job as supporting actor.
Yeah, you were telling me you actually really liked his.
Yeah, I really liked his performance.
You still there? Did you cut out again?
No, I'm still there.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you telling me that you liked his role, his character.
Yeah.
I know you really liked this movie. Because you talked about it a lot.
Well, it was the first one I watched, so yeah.
I know, you went into such great detail, and I was like, wow. Good for you.
Yeah, and like I said, since I know there's this feeling of losing hearing, technically, I could very much feel with him the entire movie.
It sucks.
All his emotions, this is anger, this desperation, this denial, this fear, everything. So yeah, he sold it very real and relatable, I think.
Mm-hmm. Like, I liked the movie, but I found, personally for me, it took forever to get to a certain point. Like, it was that whole build-up, but it was like, okay, this is a lot of build-up.
Well, I have the suspicion you're gonna say this a lot more times today.
I think it was like, I don't know, 42 an hour, and I was like, oh my god, when is something gonna happen? Overall, like, I liked it, but like, I think it was a one-time watch for me. Do I think it was for me for a best picture? No.
Well, we can talk about this later then.
Okay. So I rated this movie a 6 out of 10.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
Yep.
Pretty harsh. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I was pretty harsh on it. All right, next movie.
You're only rating this so low because it's not a horror movie and because there's no Jason in it.
Not true. I like non-horror.
Yeah.
I was just really bored.
Okay, moving on. Hopefully a movie you enjoyed more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's call it an interesting one. It's called Promising Young Woman.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I have to look my notes because this was somewhere in the middle. You can start talking about it until I find it.
At first, in the beginning, when I was watching this, I was like, what am I watching? Because it was like, what is happening? And then the story starts to unravel that it was almost... It was kind of like she was like catfishing men, in a way.
Oh, yeah, she definitely was.
Because, and I get why. She was angry. You know, she was seeking revenge on what happened to her best friend, who, you know, was taken advantage of, ended up dying, and it was kind of just like thrown under the table like it was nothing by like the what was it, the college she was at? College, had to do with like the sorority guys. Like it was like so I kind of get wholeheartedly why she did what she did.
Okay, yeah. Same.
Like she definitely had like a bond with her best friend, and she was definitely grieving and hurting for her best friend. So like in the beginning, I'm like, what? Because I went into this blindly. I'm like, what am I watching? Like,
Yeah, same.
like, okay, so she takes these men home. She's piss ass drunk, and then it's like they come on to her, and all of a sudden she's just like sober, and I'm like, what is she doing? And then I realized, okay, she's just basically taking these guys home to mess with them because of what happened.
Yeah.
I feel the ending was justified though. She got her revenge. At first I didn't think it was going to happen because of what happened to her. In
Okay.
the end, I stopped
Why?
because you said okay. You're going to cut me off.
No, I just want to say okay, okay.
Like I felt like when that happened to her in the end, I was like, what, that was it? So like all this stuff she went through for her friend, and that's what happened to her. Like, but she ended up still getting her revenge. But my thing is like, how did she know that was going to happen? How was she able to set all that up?
I think it was probably planned, and if it hadn't happened, she probably would have, I don't know, cancelled the scheduled text messages. I don't know, just I don't know how she have done it when she let's call it how it is, when she survived the bachelor party.
Yeah.
But one thing I thought was a little bit, I don't want to say confusing, but putting me a little bit off, because I knew, okay, this is not it. This was around the 1 hour mark when this tonal shift in this movie happened, because she was happy with her boyfriend, and they were so lovely and cuddly and singing this Paris Hilton song in the pharmacy and everything. And I was like, okay, this is too good to be true, and there's still, I don't know, 1 hour left of this movie, so something is going to happen.
Yeah.
And something did happen. I mean, this old friend of her showed her the video they made back at the party of the, well, let's call it how it is, the almost rape of this drunk girl, her best friend.
Yep.
And she found out that her new boyfriend was one of them.
Yep.
This is like, oh, okay, so we are back to status quo again.
But here's the other thing though. When she found out and she confronted him, he like denied it.
Oh yeah.
He denied it wholeheartedly. And shockingly, he didn't get caught, and neither did that one guy, the buddy who was like involved in it.
Yeah, I thought about this too, and maybe because there were, I mean, I don't know how the law works in these cases, but probably because there was so much time in between, so that he could not have any repercussions from being an asshole back then, let's call it this way.
Technically, they still would have gotten charged. The best friend would have, the friends would have, because it's they were still involved. Like, not directly, but because they're like a part of it, like aiding and abetting it. So, like when he murdered, I forget the main character's name, at the end of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then his buddy helped him cover it up, he would be charged as well, because he's aiding and abetting the murder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
Even though
I get this, but I'm talking about the old case, basically, from her best friend. That's why her, let's call it boyfriend, well, she didn't rat him out, basically, for this.
We don't know, though. It kind of left it open in the air to, you don't know if he got in trouble or not.
Yeah, true. But one thing I found a little bit, it's not weird, but I found interesting the song choice when she went into this nurse stripper outfit and went to the bachelor party. It was like a violin version of Toxic from Britney Spears. And I think that fit the mood pretty good.
It did. It totally did.
And yeah,
So
like we said, the ending was amazing.
it was.
Like,
Like there were points that it dragged on that you're kind of like, oh, come on. But then you get to the ending, and like I said, it's like, whoa, mind blown.
yeah.
So overall, did you like this movie?
Yeah, I pretty much enjoyed it. I think she did a good job in as acting in it, and yeah, it was a, I don't want to say entertaining movie. This sounds a little bit wrong always with this kind of movies, but yeah. So I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
You gave it 8.5.
Yeah.
Hold on, I dropped my paper. Okay. What did I give it? I gave it 8 out of 10.
Well, still good. Very
Still
good.
good. It's also a one-time watch for me because it's like once you get to that ending, you're like, okay, I'm done. You don't
Yeah,
need to see it again.
I think most of these movies are a one-time watch because once you know the ending, you're like, oh, okay, and you have no urge to watch them again because you already know what's coming and everything, and it's not like it is a very pleasant ride. I mean, mostly it's a they are very good movies. It's entertaining, but sometimes they are not pleasant to watch in a good thing, in a good way,
Yeah.
because they are
Okay.
very convincing in the reality. Let's call it this way.
Yeah, it's true.
But then let's move on. And our next movie is... Oh, this is an interesting movie. It's called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Oh.
By the way, I noticed there were, I think, like 3 or 4 Netflix movies nominated this year.
Yeah, this one I feel I have to still rewatch it
Okay.
because it took me like 3 or 4 times to watch it. And then finally when I actually sat down to watch it, I fell asleep and woke up at the end. And I remember you messaged me, you were like, "Oh, so did you finally watch it?" I was like, "Yeah, I got like 20 minutes in and then I fell asleep and woke up at the end." I had every intention about rewatching it yesterday, but I couldn't bring myself to it. Even though from the parts that I saw, the acting was great. Um, Even seeing the late Chad Bosewick in it, like
Chadwick Boseman.
yeah, Chadwick Boseman. Wow, sorry, I'm like wow, like total dyslexic there.
It's
um,
okay, it's okay.
he was very very tiny in it, and you could tell he looked not well, but his performance in the movie was really good. I will say that from what I did see. It was just unfortunate it didn't keep my attention long enough.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, I watched the whole thing because I like movies.
I like sleep too.
Yeah, I noticed. Wait a second, I have to... Yeah, exactly. I think both performances of him and of Viola Davis, who played Ma Rainey, were excellent. They were so good. The movie itself, it's not very, let's call it, actiony. It mostly plays in this record studio like 95% of the time.
It was like written like a play almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see work as a play, to be honest, because you have only this 1 or 2 rooms where everything plays, and you need like 5 or 6 characters or actors. And like I said, it was pretty good. For me, it was never boring or so boring that I fell asleep.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I mean, I can understand why you fell asleep because, like I said, this is not a movie heavy on action or even heavy on events. This
Mm-hmm.
movie lives from its characters.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, there is one scene where I think it's called Levi. It's called the Chadwick Boseman's character. Um, tells a story about his mom, and it started pretty nice, pretty normally, but then it got very intense very quickly and kind of sad. And he delivered his lines with such a passion and everything. So when you watch the movie, you believe that this really happened to his mom. He was such a good actor.
The part I think I ended up falling asleep at is when they were recording live. Not live, but recording a song, and they had to keep redoing it because the kid in the beginning kept messing up on the microphone.
Okay, yeah.
So that's probably as far as I got into it. And then they sang, and then I fell asleep. And it was a good performance, but I was out cold.
But then you must have heard the story of his mom as well. I think this was 10 or 15 minutes before they started recording.
I did.
Okay. Okay, then
I
you
did.
know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like, and to be honest, this movie wasn't that long though.
No,
At
it
least
was not. I think it was like 90 minutes or something like this.
yeah. So like, and it was just like I fell asleep. It was late at night. I was exhausted. So like, I want to rewatch it, but I'm like, I need a break from other movies. So like, technically, I didn't really give this movie a rating. I didn't because it wasn't fair to it for me to give it a rating.
Yeah, obviously.
Because I was exhausted. So I didn't rate it.
Well, for me, this movie was very interesting because I'm a big fan of jazz and blues music as well.
Yep.
So even this time era in which it plays, it's very appealing to me. Let's call it this way. And so I was pretty intrigued in this movie and I enjoyed it very much. So I'd say just even when you don't have to watch it anymore, still give it a watch so you can find out what happens at the end.
Of course.
And I gave this movie a 9 out of 10.
That's good. That's a good rating.
Yeah, because I did not fall asleep.
Can't help it. What do you want from me? I was tired. And like, you know what?
You're always tired.
I work a lot of midnights and I had to watch 12 of these movies that were so slow. I needed some excitement.
Technically, you only watched 11 of these movies, but we'll come to this later.
Technically 10 if you want to not count this one.
Yeah, see? Then what are you complaining about?
That's still 10 long, dragging movies, okay?
And they were not dragging.
I had to watch another show in between to kind of like boost it up.
Okay, you know what? Since we're talking about long and dragging, until the next podcast, I want you to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh, why?
Because I had to sit through 4 hours of this bullshit, and when I have to suffer, you suffer too.
How about in this case you just suffer for me?
No. Aren't you curious how much more amazing this movie is now compared to the other one?
You know what's funny? I didn't even get through the other one because I do not like Ben Affleck, especially as Batman. So
yeah, but he's not as much in this movie. It's 4 hours long. You barely see him. Watch this movie.
I could use a nap.
No. You watch this movie and you give me a full review of this movie at the next beginning of our podcast.
All right.
And no,
I can't make any promise.
You don't look anything up from the internet. You write it yourself.
I can't make any promises.
I will remind you every day.
Okay, what's the next movie?
I just want to say, moving on to better movies. Oh, this is an interesting movie. I think it is similar to Rainey. It's called The US versus Billie Holiday.
I like that one.
Yeah, then start talking if you have watched it. I'm looking for my notes.
I thought her performance was amazing. I also felt I actually looked her up because I don't know much about Billie Holiday, and I did a little research on her to kind of this poor girl had a shitty life,
Yes.
from the get-go, sex trafficking, her mom was god awful, the poor shit she went through even just as a child, and then it kind of you kind of get why she is the way she is as an adult, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because she went through all this traumatic childhood that it obviously carries forth, and then she becomes this beautiful musician, this singer, and just it's just one thing after another that happens to her, you know?
Yeah, and for stupid reasons. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, okay, she was addicted to heroin, I think it was.
Yep. Heroin. Yep.
And okay, this is. I mean, even though back then it was a little bit.
But.
Yeah.
Think about it. She was addicted to heroin, addicted to all this stuff, but that's a coping mechanism, right? So she had all this traumatic childhood, and it brought back into her adulthood, and so it's just even when I forget his name, the detective went in and she stripped right in front of him,
mm-hmm.
that was not called for, but it's all because of past trauma, right?
Yeah.
So.
And speaking of I think it was the 1940s when this movie took place.
Mm-hmm.
I still internally cringe and feel uncomfortable when there are white men around and they are saying nigger this and nigger that. I was like, Jesus, relax, don't. Yeah. I feel so uncomfortable when Jesus.
Of course.
But it was, sadly, it was common back then that this happened. So yeah, I get why, but still feel uncomfortable every time.
I completely agree with you on that. And the whole scene where she comes out of the house and there's a burning cross, and
oh yeah,
the two kids are screaming, and the husband's holding the wife up because she's hanging from the tree. That was just god awful.
Yeah, this hit me hard as well. And then following up with this awesome performance of her song Strange Fruit.
Yeah.
Where it's basically about killing black people.
Yep.
It was so powerful because you had barely any instruments in it, just her singing. And so you paid full attention to the lyrics.
Yep.
And this gave the scene so much weight, I think.
It definitely did. And I'm going to say it right now because you're oh, we'll wait till the end. She's my vote for Best Actress.
Oh, okay.
She's my vote, hands down. I think she did amazing. So yeah, she has my vote.
Yeah, I wrote this down. As well. It was really awesome, her acting. But one thing I didn't like in this movie was they skipped ahead so many times and such. I don't know. I felt like there was always missing something. It was this is happening, then skip ahead for, I don't know, a few days, weeks, months, and this is happening, and now it is this happening. It was just fast forward of events. I would have preferred it more if they slowed down a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, I get that. But if they did, the movie would take forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but still, it was a little bit too. Let's call it too unsatisfying to me to watch it.
And I think they talked about, okay, so they tell you what happened to each character after like the movie ended and when she passed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The guy, that detective, that she kind of
yeah.
had like a relation with, he killed himself, right? Do I remember seeing that? And he regretted what happened. And that the main, like, his boss still served for so many years afterwards.
Yeah, he served until he got retired, I think, and he got many what's it called, recommendations and stuff like this from J. Edgar Hoover and whatnot.
I actually like the actor who played him though, and to be honest, like, he played a good asshole because it was like, he's such an ass. But he's not like this actor. I think his name's like Garrett something. I have to look it up again. He always plays like these roles where they're not like major roles. I think he was in Tron. He was in Tron. That was a major role for him, the remake. But he makes like, he does like these. Oh my goodness! Did you hear that?
Yep, your belly was growling.
That was the rat trying to get attention, not my stomach. But like, even like this role, even though like it wasn't like a major role, like he was in it through here and there throughout the movie, he still did a really good job. So I like this movie.
But she did an amazing job. So
she did. I
totally agree here.
That's why I said she is my pick for Best Actress this year.
Yeah, understandable. And
I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that movie's not up for like Best Picture.
Yeah, like I said, maybe because some people feel like me and they feel it was too rushed.
Maybe. Okay, and then what did you rate this?
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
You know what? Even though I felt she did like the best performance, I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's because she did such an amazing performance. It's a 7 out of 10. Without her performance, it would be a little bit lower.
Yeah, which my dog. I knew that was coming. That's Dexter wanting, who knows. And the other one farted on me. I felt the rumble on my leg. Okay, let's pick the next movie.
And this, my dear listeners, was One Day in the Life of I Am Nicole K.
I know. When you have bulldogs, it happens. I just let them outside, so.
Okay. Okay, I'm looking for another movie from our list. And, oh, this is going to be an interesting one to talk about. I'll let you start. Because the movie is called Mank. Okay.
Where do I start? I was bored.
Okay, this is
at one. Yeah. But okay, at one point it was just background noise for me, and I stopped paying attention.
Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, this movie is basically around all this let's call it drama of making the screenplay for Citizen Kane and everything. And since I never watched Citizen Kane, maybe that's why I can't appreciate it as much as others can. Well,
it's true. I never watched it.
Citizen Kane is supposed to be this masterpiece of American cinema, movie, whatever. But yeah, I did never bother to watch it.
Either have I, and I said the same thing. Like, maybe if I actually sat down and watched it, I would get it. And the crappy thing is, this movie had it had a really good cast.
Oh yeah.
It had so much potential, but it was just so dry for me. It was background noise at one point, so I think it lost me after 20 minutes in.
Jesus, wasn't this movie like 2 hours long?
Yep, it was background noise. I don't remember what I was doing. Probably scrolling through TikTok or something.
Ladies and gentlemen, movie critic Nicole K. scrolling through TikTok when watching a movie.
Well, it was boring. So I was like,
Maybe it would have been more exciting if you paid attention, huh?
no, I
No.
tried. I'm surprised that's a movie I didn't fall asleep to.
Yeah, because you were scrolling through TikTok.
And I was tired when I watched that one.
But
I'm eating jelly beans right now, so
yeah, either way. But I have to say, the acting of Gary Oldman, who is 60 by the way, portraying a 30-year-old was very impressive.
See, I like him. I really do. And he does pick great roles. I didn't care much for this movie.
Yeah, I think me and all our listeners found out by now that you did not care about this movie.
Yep. I had other engagements I had to do while it was on.
Ooh, here's a funny TikTok. I have to send it to Dooney. Whoop.
Yeah, that's pretty much accurate. I think you were probably sleeping. I don't know. Maybe. I don't remember.
Well,
I have nothing I could say that's positive about this. Okay, no, the only thing I can say is that I had a great all-star cast.
yeah, that is a great cast. I think
Yep.
the sound design was great because it had a really 30s flair to it.
I like that it was filmed in black and white, though.
Oh, really?
I like that.
No, I
don't
just
mind.
was surprised because usually if you when you talk with people about movies and then and you watch this movie because it's in black and white and oh no, black and white and old movies and I don't think many people appreciate black and white movies, but I don't mind them as well.
Same. I don't.
Because I enjoyed The Lighthouse, I enjoyed Roma. These are all black and white movies, and I think they were all fantastic. So yeah.
I find black and white gives it a nice effect to it. So
if done correctly, then yeah.
yeah. So I will give you my rating because I have no much more to say about this movie.
Okay.
I gave it a 3, only because of the all-star cast and the black and white.
Oh wow, this is really harsh. Jesus, and I thought I was harsh. I gave it a 6.
I told you it was background noise.
3. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Next. I felt like they were just filling spots. Anyway, next.
Oh boy, okay, let's go to our next movie, and our next movie is Nomadland.
I like that one.
Well, yeah, I have to look for my notes again. They are all over the place.
I'll let you start on this one because you made me start on the other one that I didn't.
Nomadland, yes.
Yeah.
The first thing I wrote down is the Amazon job is a good job. Wow. Because if you listen to news coverage and people who actually work there, they pretty much tell the opposite. So this is one thing I was like, okay, so Amazon said like, okay, you can use a company, but you have to say, oh, it's an amazing job to work for.
Of course, they don't want to come off bad, right?
Yeah. So this was.
And might I add, before we continue, I love Amazon because I order from it all the time.
I like Amazon too, but I don't want to work for them.
No, I get that. So this movie I really liked. You kind of like you stick with her, you follow her and see kind of like the life she's living, like living out of her van, right? That's what it was, a van.
Yeah.
And kind of just like traveling around, just like surviving through the weather, and like even like when she was sleeping in her van during the winter months, somebody offered her a place to stay that was warmer, and she was like, no, I'm fine. Man, I would have taken her up on that offer in a heartbeat because we both know I don't like the cold. Or yeah. I would have stayed where it was cold.
Yeah.
No. I kind of, when we were watching this movie, I told you how she's like traveling around and doing that. I said I always thought about that, like her circumstance. I get why, but I was like, because I see more and more nowadays, people are buying like buses and vans, trailers, and they're remodeling them into like these homes that they travel like across country in. And I'm like, I would totally do that if I didn't have like my job that I have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like just travel and explore. Like I always like I envy those people who just pick up and do that. You know what I mean? I think that's amazing, and they get that experience. Maybe one day in my life I'll do that. Like, but it'd be like a 2-week vacation, not like a whole round thing. As much as I'd love to do that, at the end of the day, I can't just give up my career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally understand it. And since we talked yesterday about it, but for another reason, you blew your chance to be what did I call it? A trailer park couple anyway. So
why can't I remember this conversation? Yeah,
now
no.
it clicked.
Damn it! How did I miss on that?
I just remembered when you said, "Oh yeah, trailer and this and that," and I was like,
You're right. Damn, I missed out on that. I'm so happy I dodged that bullet. Thank God. Somebody was looking out for me when they let them. Yeah. Thank God.
It was so fitting right now. I just thought I'd throw it in.
I loved it. But like, so like to follow her around, they kind of dealt with like her struggle of losing her partner and just like.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down this movie is not very, let's call it, story heavy in this way. It's more like the story about her, the people she meets, and the past. She tells his people what happened, and who she don't tell everything. Sometimes there are people who she more opens up to, and sometimes there are people who she's like a little bit more reserved.
Like when she lost her friend.
Yeah.
That was sad.
Oh, it so was, yeah. Sadly, I can't remember her name anymore.
I can't either, because it was like one of the beginning movies I watched. Right. So it's just you kind of just follow her through to see like what she's experiencing, and like she makes these friends, and like you said, she only opens up to certain people. So like I liked it, but again, it's like one of those movies that was like a one-time watch for me, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I like this movie, but I think they did not do enough with it. So it was like, it was okay. It was an entertaining watch, but I hoped that there would be more to it, and sadly it wasn't.
Yeah.
But her performance was great, I think.
It was very good. I kind of was hoping she was going to take that dog in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And she just like tied it up and laughed. They're like, "Do you want the dog?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Why? Why? It's a companion. Take the dog." I would have taken the dog. But not everybody, and I get that, like considering her lifestyle, like
yeah,
like she wouldn't have the time for it, like even with the job and stuff like that. So and that's like extra money you have to spend on extra mouth fees. I totally get it.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Are you picking up the callers playing in right now?
The callers?
Yeah, because there's like a war going on right now between two of the dogs. Like not like they're just play fighting. So the collars are like jingling.
Oh, no, I don't hear them.
Oh, that's actually pretty funny. So if you hear it like it sounds like a scuffle in the background, it's because it's like the big guy and the rat.
Oh, well, You can hear it a little bit. I always thought it was you playing with something.
No, that's just Jax and the rat. They're playing, so it's like a huge war going on the floor. So that's why I sent you those pictures because it's funny.
Oh, okay. I thought you had this little, I don't know, bracelet or something and you were playing with it.
No. The funny thing is, though, I know this is completely off topic, but like the little rat, because he's tiny, right? He can dodge and hide under things, and the big guy's got to wait for him to come out or try to reach at him. So, like right now, he's hiding under the couch and he's jumping out at him. It's funny. Anyway, so what would you rate this movie?
I gave this movie an 8 out of 10.
Wow, you gave it more than me. I gave it a 7.
Oh, even though you love this movie so much.
I did. I liked it. But like I said, it was a one-time watch for me. It wasn't like amazing, but it was like, I still liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, okay, then we go on to our next movie. Oh, the next movie I have to talk about because someone did not watch it again. And this movie is called Another Round.
Okay, but let me explain why I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, explain to our audience, please.
I love Mads Mikkelsen. I've met him before in person. He is amazing. He is so kind-hearted. He takes the time to really get to know you. He shakes your hand. And this is from the movie, like not from it, but it was kind of funny when I met him. He had his like people around him, and they like usually rush you out. He wanted to talk to me for like the longest time ever.
Okay.
So, but his people are like, no. Like they rushed you out, and he was just like, it was like almost sad when they rushed me out because he was like, have a good day. Like he was so kind, and so I got his autograph. I got a picture with him too. Amazing guy. So when I saw that he was in this movie, I was looking forward to watching it. The only problem is, okay, so I love subtitled movies. I'll watch any movie in any language. The only problem is the camera was shaky. So between the camera moving a lot and then me trying to read the words, I was like, I can't do this. So I think I got into the movie, like, because in the beginning it's like, you know, the little partying, they're drinking, and then there's like, they're in the gym. So I got up to that point, and then they introduced him, and then it was like, I can't focus on reading, trying to watch it, and while the camera's moving, I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. So I had to stop, which is shitty because there are some really good movies.
Yeah.
But so it was. So you're gonna have to talk about it. I really wanted to watch it because I love Mads Mikkelsen.
Okay, so you have basically no idea what this movie is about.
I kind of Googled it, so definitely like alcoholism takes a big part into it.
So basically, they are for teachers, and they struggle a bit in life because I can't remember his name. Wait, no, I did not write it down. Anyway, Matt's character, he struggled at home a little bit because he feels distant from his wife and his 2 sons, and he struggles at his job because he's an history teacher.
This is Mads' character?
Yes.
Okay.
And he struggles as an history teacher because it seems like he has no self-confidence in himself, and based on this, his students don't take him too serious. And one day, the 4 teachers are out there drinking, having I think, celebrating the 40th birthday of someone.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come up with, I sadly haven't wrote it down, but you can for sure Google it, a theory someone put up a long time ago, that mankind is born with, what's it called, a blood alcohol content of 0.05 deficit. So basically, if you drink about 2 glasses of wine, you are functioning the way you should function as a human being. And this is an experiment they want to do. So every day before they go to school, they drink 1 or 2 glasses of wine or a shot or anything to get to this blood alcohol level.
Mm-hmm.
And when they start with it, with the 0.05,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they notice a positive change in their lives. Like, especially with Mads Mikkelsen character, he loosens up to his students. He makes his lessons funny and entertaining and interesting again.
Mm-hmm.
He connects with his wife again and stuff like this. And then they say, okay, let's up the ante a bit and go to 0.1. So they up
Yeah.
the ante, and it's still, everything is like, okay, you notice a little bit of a vocal impairment, basically. Like, of course, when you're drunk, you go la la la.
Yep.
But they're still having positive side effects from this. And
Yep.
after this went well for a while, they were like, since this is an experiment, let's go to binge drinking and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is then where this movie shifts a little bit from, okay, this is now fun and everything is cool, to, okay, this is not so fun anymore, and oh, I can see how sneaky alcoholism is.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, some things go terribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to look at my notes now because this was all from my head. It greatly shows how easy it is to drift into alcoholism because, like I said at the beginning, it is fun and oh, it's only 2 glasses of wine, whatever, but it gets more and more and more. And should I spoil this movie for you?
Yeah, go for it because I won't be able to watch it.
Okay. At the end, one of them jumps into a boat and drives into the, I think, into the sea with his dog. And then you just see this shot of his dog on his boat only, and he is nowhere. So they implicated that he died, of course, and they have this funeral and everything. And this is the scene where they all...
Is it Mads who
No. He is, let me think. I think he is separated from his wife then, because they had a huge argument. And they basically separated. They tried to connect, but she said, no, there's no chance I will ever connect with you again. Then they had this funeral. And before this funeral, there was this, I don't know what's it called. It's like the last test for students to pass college.
Okay.
Is there a name for it?
Like a test that they have to pass college? Like you mean to get into college?
No, like they had like this test where one of the students was very nervous about it, and one of the 4 teachers said, okay, here, take a sip from my water bottle. It's not water, so you loosen up a bit, like in private, so he's not nervous anymore. And then the student drew a card. It said 3, and then he got asked a question by the teacher and another, I don't know, supervisor or something like this. And this was like I think it was a psychology exam or something like this, but not with writing down anything, but it was what's it called, an oral exam.
Okay, yeah, it's like where they speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know if it has any name. I sadly can't remember it, but
it's okay.
This was the last day, and every student passed, and everyone was happy. and this was the same day as the funeral when the students partied. And so the 3 teachers that were left got basically a little bit caught up in this student party who was at the same day, and they were like so happy. So
Did you just cut out?
no, I stopped because I lost my line.
You said about how they were partying, and then you were like, so.
Oh yeah, like they were partying and they offered some alcohol to the 3 teachers because they liked them so much now. So they accepted it, had a little drink, and while they had this little drink with them, I mean, they were out in the open, like partying like wild, like it's hard to explain. I don't know.
Okay.
And while they were partying, Mads got a text from his wife that she misses him and she likes to start over again. And
okay. So kind of like a happy ending for Mads, right?
Yes. I think I'd say so, yes. Because he even did a little ballet dance at the end.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, at the birthday party of the guy who got 40, they were only talking about it, how great of a ballet dancer Metz was. But they never showed it. And at the end, they showed it, and it was very funny and entertaining to watch. But you can't watch it because it's so much shaky cam.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just sad because it was like I was looking forward to watching it because I did look it up to see who was in it, and then when I saw his name, I was like, oh, I'm so excited because, like I said, he is so awesome, even in person, and he does these roles that I feel like, how do I explain it? I feel like he's underappreciated for it. Like he does these roles that are so good, and I've watched a lot of his movies, and like I don't feel like he's recognized enough over here. Like I think he might be over where he's originally from, but here I feel like he's not. And like he was in Star Wars, so like I sent you while you were talking. I sent you how I like my autograph from him and me talking to him.
Oh, that was what threw me off a bit then because I just noticed my phone ringing.
Yes. So that was me meeting him. This is before he started in Star Wars. Well, he filmed it and it wasn't aired yet. But he was also in Hannibal, which was on Netflix and TV, which I absolutely loved. I hated the 3rd season, but
oh my god, you look like such a cute little fangirl over there.
Oh my god, I was so excited because it's like I absolutely loved Hannibal and I love him. Like even when he was in King Arthur, with Clive Owen, I loved it. And it just like he was so nice, and I just don't know how to explain it. Like out of all the celebrities I met, he was the most kind-hearted one I've ever met. And honestly, like because like you my autograph, he did the Hannibal thing, eat the rude. But his lineup wasn't even that long. Like because people didn't know who he was, and then it I don't know. I think eventually he'll start becoming bigger over here. Eventually he'll get like those roles, but otherwise I think he's like. That's why I was disappointed I couldn't watch this movie. So anyway, I couldn't rate it. So would you rate it?
Well, I gave it a 9 out of 10, and I think maybe it won't get the best picture, but maybe because I checked it out afterwards, it also got nominated for best international picture. So let's hope he get the chance there. But it's sad that he didn't get nominated for anything, because I really liked his performance in this.
Yeah. Which is really good. Which I wouldn't be surprised with him, because he's so good. Like, because he did a whole role where he was like basically didn't talk. So, anyway. So, unfortunately I couldn't watch it. move on to the next one? Oh, did you think it was funny? I sent you the war was over. It was like a mini break.
Yep, I saw it.
Now they're back at it again. Oh, okay. What movie are we talking about next?
The next movie is Trial of the Chicago 7.
That one's on Netflix.
Yeah, many movies were on Netflix.
And you know what? That one actually has a good cast in it too.
Oh yeah, it really did.
I enjoyed it. It was one of like the earlier movies I watched because the majority of the earlier ones I was like, oh, this is slow. But I really liked this one.
Do you really liked it? I heard you say, "Oh, this movie drags on. It's a
It did drag on at some point, but then it got better towards the end.
Okay.
I didn't like again, this movie is like one of those that it's a one-time watch for me. And it like I like how it I do like movies where it's like the trial cases, the court cases. You kept telling me you're going to hate the judge. Yeah, I definitely hated the judge, and I hated what happened to that poor guy in the courtroom. That was unnecessary.
Oh yeah, it was. I don't know, the judge angered me so much.
And the shitty thing is that actually did happen.
Yeah.
Like this isn't like some make up Hollywood crap. That actually did happen, and that judge got in trouble for what he did. They tell you at the end. So
yeah. Luckily.
Which luckily you said luckily.
Yeah, I'm happy he got in trouble for what he did because this was not acceptable. Like Jesus, what the fuck? Even when they had I don't know what his role exactly was. Michael Keaton in the witness stand. And
I know.
The judge was like, "Yeah, no, we don't let him speak to the jury." Like, what the fuck?
I'm like, why? He was an excellent witness to it, but that was just the judge. It was a whole unfair trial, and it's shitty because they all ended up serving time for it anyway.
Oh yeah.
But the main character kind of won, if you think about it.
Well,
because didn't he like go into like high politics or something like that?
I think they said he did at the end, yeah.
Yeah. So like, even like you were telling me you were impressed by Sasha.
Oh yeah.
You were like, it was like you didn't know that he was capable of that kind of acting. Because all you can think of, most people associate him as Borat.
Yeah, like Borat and what was his, Ali G and Bruno.
Bruno. But he's actually, he's a really good actor.
Yeah, but I think he does never get the chance to prove it. And here he got the chance, and here he said, okay, look at what I can do. And it was impressive.
It was very, so you were very impressed by his acting.
Oh yeah. I think he even got nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
For this role, I think you're right. I think he did. Because you wrote it down. I'm just checking, because you wrote it on the thingy.
No, I only wrote Best Actor and Best Actress. Like supporting roles I did not write down.
He would be good. I think I would pick him. He was good. But I don't know who. I don't know who the other supporting.
Who I think would be better, but we'll come to this later.
But you didn't. So I don't know who are the other best supporting actors. So I have to look.
Yeah, I'll tell you when we get to this movie later.
Okay, so what did you think about it?
What I thought about it was it was a very interesting movie because I like this court trial movies anyway. Like, what's it called? A Time to Kill, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy movies like this. And so I enjoyed this as well. You had this little flashbacks to see what happened back then. What really happened, and not only the thing that they said happened in the court. And it was interesting. It was, again, like, this is based on real events.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very interesting for me, and I really enjoyed it. I'm always a sucker for movies based on real events like this.
Of course.
And
So,
yeah,
okay.
I I just remembered I liked the ending as well when he basically stood up and read aloud all the, what was it, like, I think 5,000 names of the soldiers that died during the trials.
Oh yeah,
This was an amazing ending to this movie.
it was. It was, and I loved it. And then they kind of just went into what happened to each character.
Yeah. Yeah, of course they can't they couldn't let him finish all 5,000 names. This would be a long movie then.
It would be. It definitely would. So I liked how it ended.
Yeah. And
What would you rate this movie?
I just want to say I gave it an 8 out of 10.
That's a pretty good rating.
Yeah.
I gave it a 7 out of 10 because it was the Chicago 7.
Wow. Really?
No, that's not why I gave it. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but it's a one-time watch and it dragged a bit in the beginning, and then it got better.
Okay.
Okay.
Booza. Everything is fine. Moving on to the next movie. We have only 3 movies left. What will it be? And the next movie is the last movie I've watched. Like, I watched it like 3 hours ago. And it's called The Father.
Okay, I'm just gonna start right now on this one.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that movie.
Yep.
I'm gonna just throw this out there. I was stuck between 2 for Best Picture. It's between this one and one other one. I do feel that Anthony Hopkins deserves Best Actor for this one.
Yeah, same.
Because you basically are in his mind. You are going through his so you're kind of you're getting both standpoints of how his daughter is dealing with, but more so you're kind of in his mindset about what he's dealing with, with aging and it's even heartbreaking to the point where you can tell the daughter it feels defeated that she has to put him in a nursing home, to have nurses take care of him, and it was so sad and heartbreaking because sometimes I've dealt with people like this, and it's it's hard to watch their loved ones see them go through this process where their mom or their dad are they're at war right now again. If you heard that little squeak. Sorry. The mom and the dad are going through this, and their children will come in to see them, and their mom or their dad might not recognize them anymore. I've seen countless children cry because their dad is has the onset of dementia or Alzheimer's, and it's where's your mother? Where's your mother? And not knowing that the mom died years ago, and then the kids retell them, and then you just see him break down. So and even that whole scene where he thought that guy was hitting him and he started breaking down crying, I was like, oh my god. So this definitely struck a nerve, just being not in a bad way, but just I've seen this countless time and time again because I work in it, right? It's very, very heartbreaking, and to be in that standpoint, to see your parent gradually deteriorate into nothing, it's so sad. So I don't know. Let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I luckily, luckily, under quotation marks, I only had to witness this twice because of my grandma, and then a little bit later with my granddad. So I know exactly the feel when, in my case, my mom told my granddad, hey, look, Dooney is here as well. And he looked at me and oh, and you could clearly see in his eyes that he had no idea who I am. So
That's sad.
yeah, I totally get this feeling from the daughter in this scene.
Like,
Um,
and he like the one caretaker, um, what's her name? Lauren, I can't remember. The blonde.
I think it was Laura, yes.
He completely fabricated in his mind that she was like his actual caretaker, and then when he actually met the nurse in the end, he was like, "No, it's not you. What happened to the other girl?" But this girl he fabricated in his mind reminded him of his other daughter, Lucy.
Yeah, who died
So,
in an accident, I think.
yeah. So,
One
and
thing,
then like,
one thing I wrote down was this movie feels a bit like Memento, if you know this movie.
yeah, because it's all over the place. You're bouncing all over, like back and forth. But really, how they're doing it is like you're playing it through his eyes, what he sees, what he's
Yep,
experiencing every day, how things are different, and just so it's like forgetful. Like, no,
yep.
no, you think you're in your flat, but you're not in your flat. Yes, I am. I live alone. This is my house. Why is this like this? Why is that?
Mm.
Who are you? So, like, you're going through his mind, and I absolutely think that Anthony Hopkins did a great job at it.
Oh yeah, and you feel, especially at the beginning, you feel as lost as Anthony Hopkins in the scene because you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea what's real and not, basically. So
Exactly.
yeah, it was. I honestly first I did not know what this movie was about, of course, and
Same.
I did not know what to expect from this movie based on its post. On its poster was like, okay, maybe it's like a father-daughter relationship thingy, but no, it was quickly very clear that it was about dementia, and I think they did a very good job portraying this confusion and this helplessness of Anthony Hopkins because he was so convinced of everything what happened, and then you find out later it's not true. Oh, it is true, or it's not true because it changes all the time.
And he had moments of clarity though.
Oh
Like
yeah,
small brief moments. He had
yeah.
moments of them. And it's that just goes to show you how shitty, that disease, like dementia and all that can be. Like, cause
Yeah, I
like
know.
they're gradually like disintegrating and but they have those small moments. And
Mm.
it's like the small moments, it's like wow, and then boom, it's right back like within moments.
Yeah, like I said,
Jeez.
sadly, I know, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So, what did you rate this movie?
One thing I wanted to mention is the end when he basically broke down and cried for his mom. This was so sad.
I've seen that from time to time. It's hard.
Mm.
Oh my God, it's so hard when you see that. I don't I don't work in a nursing home, but because being in the medical field where I work, sometimes we get people who have like dementia and Alzheimer's. And it's just a case of they need to come to us for medication adjustment. And we get them on like the right medications, what the doctor orders. So I'm there with them during this time and we get them on a stable that works well for them and then we send them back to their home. Um, so when we do get them, it's really sad. And even just like, seeing the family, it's yeah, it's hard. So
Mm.
um so what do you rate this movie?
I think it. I rate this movie because I'm like personally invested in this topic and everything, so I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, same because it was one of my favorites. Like when I went into it, I was like, I don't know. It took me a couple of times to get into it because I was like, and then I finally watched it fully last night. I was like, wow, it was actually really good.
And
Because like you said, you're confused.
yeah, and for me it was like the time went on so fast. I mean, at one point I think I had to go to the bathroom, so I paused it and I noticed, oh my god, 90 minutes passed already. It felt like, I don't know, 30 minutes.
Yep. So, and like the whole thing where she had to explain to him that his daughter comes every so often to see him. They go for a walk in the park, and she has a new life in Paris. And I see those families. It's not that they want to do that. It's like they're at that point where it's like they feel defeated, and it's not like they want that choice, but they look at what's the best choice for their family member in this case. Like, what's the best provided care? So, like, if they work a 9 to 5 job and they're not home and their family member's not looked after, that's why sometimes it's like the best case scenario is to put them in a home where they're looked after 24/7.
Yeah, I
Totally
get this.
So, okay, next movie.
So 2 movies left. Okay. At least the last 2 movies are a little bit more, let's call it, not lighthearted, but yeah, not this heavy from the topics.
Yeah, that one was pretty heavy.
Yeah. And
actually, I think the one is pretty heavy too.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. Probably or probably not, because our next movie is Judas and the Black Messiah.
That's the heavy one.
Yeah.
That one I liked. I thought that was amazing. I thought the performances were really good. I hated... Go ahead, sorry.
I just wanted to say, I think it is almost an insult that Daniel Kaluuya gets a nomination for Best Supporting Actor and not Best Actor here, but yeah.
I agree. And you know what's funny? This was my other movie. So this one and The Father are my top pick for the Best Picture.
And that's why I said Sacha Baron Cohen, maybe he's a good actor, but Best Supporting Actor, no, I'd vote Daniel Kaluuya for this one, because he did an amazing job.
I hate the fact that they killed him in his sleep.
Oh, by the way, did you notice the, let's call it more or less crossover between this movie and the Chicago 7? Because, what was his name? Fred something? He was basically the guy who a little bit counseled the black guy who was in front of the judge without defendant and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think even at one point they said, yeah, Fred got shot in the night, and so this black guy had no one to help him now at all at the trial.
Trial. Yep. Actually, you know what's funny? I didn't even think about that until you just pointed that out now. This movie was pretty intense.
Yeah. Something I wrote down because it was for me a little bit hard, because black actors always have this distinct dialect to it, let's call it this way. And so I wrote down, as a non-native English speaker, it's sometimes really hard to understand what was said, so subtitles on, please.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know, this, and like, I hated how, like, in the end where they like showed up and they shot up the place, and like they're fighting for their rights. And it's unfortunately there was like a shitty time in our history.
Oh yeah.
But it was for a good cause to fight for their rights, and it angered me that like they went in the middle, like you went in the middle of the night and you shot them all up, and then the one guy was like sleeping and they like shot him in the head. Like at least the girl, and she was pregnant at the time, and like they threatened to like shoot the baby in her stomach. Like they go and they show in the end that like they continued his cause still to this day, kind of a thing.
Yep, they did, yeah.
And how did... Go
same
ahead, sorry.
thing here. This movie is also based on real events, so yeah.
And like he was kind of betrayed, eh? Like they kind of like almost like it kind of does go with the title, like Judas. Like he was kind of betrayed if you think about it, because he kind of had that undercover guy.
Yep.
That was undercover on like their meetings and stuff like that, and every time he would go back to like his boss and stuff, and it's like, how does it feel? How do you think it would feel to know that you're undercover and blah blah blah, this and that, and like you definitely know, like it was like eating him alive.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So,
I also wrote down the treating of black people in America in the 60s, like in the movie, or in the late 60s. It hasn't changed much compared to today in America, because you still have the same shitty treatment of black people.
of course,
You just have to watch the news and everything, how police treats black people. It's like so heartbreaking and everything.
Of course, unfortunately, there are still people out there that are racist and still treat people of different skin color, whatever, whatever you can think of, like shit. Like even right now in the world, we have all this hatred towards Asians because of the COVID virus.
Yeah,
like
same.
like that one video I sent you, I was like, I can't believe this happened to that poor little old lady just walking, and this man just freaking boots the shit out of her. And nobody does anything about it. They just shut the door like it was nothing.
Yeah, it is so depressing.
It's sad. Like, you know, you want to live in a world where everybody is fully accepted, and it would be nice, but I don't think that will ever happen. This is always going to be an ongoing battle between races all the time, because there's even points where like every race is discriminated against, right? So every, like, you know, African American, Asian, Muslims, like, and go through Arabs, everything, like go through every single race out there. Everybody's discriminated against. Even white people are too.
Well,
you know,
they're not so much, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
But I'm like, every race has been discriminated against, and it's just unfortunate that some are getting it more than others. And you want to live in a world where it's like, why can't everybody just fully accept everybody? Why does it matter somebody's skin color, their language they speak, where they come from? Why does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
There's good people and bad people in every culture, race aspect of life. It doesn't matter their skin color or whatever. So
yeah, exactly. I once said the same thing. Like, if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, purple, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
If you're a nice guy, then cool. If you're an asshole, you're
exactly.
an asshole.
I'm gonna talk like a personal experience briefly. I had a gentleman who was African American. He had asked me out. You know, I thanked him, but at the time I had a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I declined. I said, look, I appreciate it, but I have a boyfriend. He accepted it and moved on. My coworker was up my butt because I denied him, and she was saying I was racist. Like, that's not being racist. I have a boyfriend.
Mm.
If I didn't have a boyfriend, yeah, I probably would have given him a shot. He was a good looking man. And it was like it sucked, because it's like, I am far from it. All my friends are multicultural. So like, to sit there and like accuse me of being racist, it's not. It's, hi, I have a boyfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that was just wrong on her part. Like, no. That makes me angry to think about it to this day. You know, and wherever that gentleman is, I wish him the best of luck, and I hope he's happy, and maybe he's married. Don't know, but regardless, I'm a loyal person.
Yeah, it's same thing here. I mean, I never cared when I was dating someone, what nationality, what race they were, whatever.
Yep.
Like, oh, you're cool, I feel attracted to you, so yeah, I want you.
Yep.
Basically. I don't care if it, I don't know, if it's a black girl, if it's a Muslim, if it's, I don't know anything else. Asian. Oh, Asian, nice. But yeah, so
true. It is so true.
Racism is still such a big problem in our society, and
of course,
I think that's so sad to say this.
It is. It's unfortunate, and you think that you wish and you hope that we've all come from it. You know, like, come on, guys, it's about time. Like, we need to move from this. Of course, always be educated of what happened and what's
Of
still
course, yeah.
happening. But like at one point, like when is everybody going to be fully accepted? You know what I mean? Like there's going to be a good percentage of us that are going to accept everybody no matter what. But there's also that other percent that's going to be like, no, I don't like you because of your skin color. I don't like you because of your religion or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and it's unfortunate. Oh my God. Sorry. The
It's
pack
okay.
just rolled in from outside. They're all like, yes. um, but all in all, I love this movie. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I really much enjoyed it as well, yeah.
What did you rate it?
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
So did I. Oh.
Nice, nice.
Nice. And our final movie.
Our final movie is called Minari.
I really like this movie, but when I told you we were going to watch it, I love Steven Yeun. But as a best actor, I don't feel like he did a great job, don't get me wrong. But as for what this movie portrays, I feel like it was in a relationship with the grandson and the grandma.
Oh yeah, totally. I like,
and like I understand the whole aspect of like Steven Yeun trying to like with build a farm to help with the family, but I was like, I found it was more geared towards the grandson and the grandma.
Yeah, I wrote the same thing down. I mean, best actor, not so much, but the best supporting actress, yeah, I can see that.
I absolutely love that relationship between the grandmother and the grandson, though.
Oh yeah.
Even and like when he peed in her, what was her tea or something?
Tea, yeah.
And then like, the dad was gonna like beat his ass, and he made him go outside and get a stick, and he brings in like what was it, like a piece of like straw or something, something like really.
Yeah.
And the grandmother just laughed it off like it was like nothing. She's like, "Oh, see." I absolutely loved it, but I felt awful what happened. The grandmother,
yeah, and
obviously
the whole
had a
movie
stroke.
changed a bit from its tone after this one, because before this happened, we were basically like the boy. We didn't know the grandmother, and we slowly started to get known her, and we basically built a relationship with her through him.
We did, and like you felt awful because like she had a stroke.
Oh yeah.
And he wakes up because he thought he peed the bed because he had that.
Yeah.
He was known to have those accidents, and he realized I didn't pee the bed; it was grandma. And so she had a stroke, and then like when they were out, it was like she was trying to help, and unfortunately set things on fire, and they lost like all the crop there.
Mm. But the tonal shift from before the stroke, it was a little bit more lighthearted, let's put it this way. And after it, you really noticed it got a little bit more depressing with everything.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know the names anymore. He and his wife, basically, he talked about separating and whatnot. The boy and the daughter were really, I don't want to say repelled from the grandmother, but a little bit like, okay, grandma is weird.
Mm-hmm.
So it went into a little bit more different direction.
Yep. It's true. It did. It definitely did. And then like the whole fire, that thing that happened, and she started walking away, and the kids chased her down to bring her back.
That was nice.
It was also kind of heartbreaking because it was like it's like they were like, we're a family, we need to stick together, and then they all slept in the same room together. It's like they all like it took the crop burning down to bring them all back together.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you think about it, because like the mom and dad were fighting because she was unhappy, he was fighting because he wants the crop, he wants this and this for the family, and like it was just what took it was like this crop building down that brought them all together, like closer.
Yeah, that's true.
I like this movie though.
Yeah, it was Well, it was not... it was not one of my favorites, but I liked it too, yeah.
It's another one of those. Sorry, there's kids outside playing, so they're screaming like their heads off, and that's why
I would... Don't worry, I would bark at them as well if there were kids outside.
It's the old man that's doing it, Dexter.
Of course, old men always yell, "Go down from our yard!"
That reminds me of like that Simpsons thing. Old man yells at cloud.
Exactly.
That's Dexter. Old man yells at shadow. I loved it, but it was also a one-time watch for me. So I gave this movie an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, same thing here.
Yep.
Alrighty then. Let's start with our final contest, basically. We have to pick our votes for Best Picture. Wait. Our nominees for Best Picture are Sound of Metal.
No.
The Father. Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yes, see, I can't choose between those two.
Wait. Mank. Minari.
Oh, absolutely not.
Minari.
No.
Nomadland.
No.
Promising Young Woman.
No.
And The Trial of Chicago 7.
No.
No. Well, for me, it's obvious I'll choose The Father.
It's hard. I'm stuck torn between The Father and Judas and the Black. I did give The Father the higher rating, so I'll probably go with The Father.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Then let's go with Best Director. We have Mank.
No.
I feel like Mank does not earn much praise from us.
No.
Minari. Nomadland. Promising Young Woman.
No.
Another Round.
I don't know.
Well, these are the few choices we have. This is honestly a little bit difficult for me as well, Best Director.
I'm gonna go with Minari.
You know what? I'd say fuck it. I give Another Round Best Director.
Okay. Next.
One moment. I just write it down. Because when the Oscars take place, in our next podcast, we're gonna reveal who of us was right about our predictions. Okay, now we have Best Actor. Best Actor. We have... I'm probably butcher a lot of names, so I'm sorry in advance. Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal.
Nope.
We have Anthony Hopkins for The Father.
Yep.
We have Gary Oldman for Mank.
Nope.
I still have no idea how to say it. Steven Yeun?
Steven Yeun.
Yen? Okay.
I like him, but not for this one,
And
no.
Minari. And we have Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
I like him, but no. I'm going with Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Because, like I said before, his performance was amazing.
Yep.
So, and last but not least, we have Best Actress. And the nominees are Frances McDormand for Nomadland.
Nope. I like her, though. I like her as
Carey
an actress.
Mulligan for Promising Young Woman.
Nope.
Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
I like her, too, but no.
Andra Day for the United States vs. Billie Holiday.
Yes.
And Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman.
No. Although she did do a good job. I like Andrea Day.
Okay, you go with Andra Day, I go with Vanessa Kirby, because although I liked the Billie Holiday movie and thing, I just felt emotionally more attached to Vanessa Kirby.
Okay. Sounds.
1 second. I have to write it down. Okay. I just want to check something real quick. Best Picture, Actor, Actress. Blah blah blah. Supporting Actress. Yeah, like I said, supporting actress from movies we watched would be Amanda Seyfried, but from Mank, but I think we agreed that Mank was not our movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Olivia Colman for the daughter in The Father.
Okay.
And I have no idea. Yoon Yoo-young for Minari, basically the grandmother.
I like her, so yeah.
Then we have another movie we didn't watch, and the role of the daughter in the second Borat movie. But I'd go with the grandmother actress here as well.
Yep.
And best supporting actor, this is something I'm still a little bit angry about for Daniel Kaluuya, but we had Paul, I have no idea, Paul Rucci or Rucky or whatever for this old guy in Sound of Metal. We have Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the Chicago 7. We have, Lakeith Stanfield for portraying this black undercover FBI agent in Judas and the Black Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
And someone, I don't know, we didn't watch it. And of course Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah. And I go with Daniel Kaluuya here because I really liked it.
Same.
Nicer. Okay, then we'll see. Mr. Closed it. The Oscars are April 26th. So I think we still have some time and podcast in between. Because let me see, next podcast for us to record would be on April 18th. And the following podcast would be on May 2nd. And I'd say when we record this, then we reveal in the first few minutes who won, who was right, and stuff like this.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else you want to add? Like, did you enjoy a little bit more different, to watch a little bit more different movies this time for a change?
I'm always watching different movies. I'm always and usually I do watch like the Oscar movies, the best pictures before it comes. It's just unfortunate, like there wasn't like a crazy amount to choose from because of COVID, right?
Yeah.
So, but I am happy with my choices. So.
I wanna hear a funny story though.
Okay.
Mank got nominated for 10 Oscars.
You know what? And I could see that because they have like such a great all-star cast and stuff. Maybe one day I'll have to sit down and watch this Citizen Kane. No, not you. Sorry. The rat was trying to steal a pen. It wouldn't be a podcast without any of the beast ruining or interrupting.
True. So you're basically going to sit down, watch Citizen Kane, and afterwards Mank to see if it's as good as everybody says.
I could use a nap, so yeah.
But to be honest, many nominations mean nothing because even I think Joker got nominated for 11 Oscars and only won, I think, 1 or 2. So yeah. So let's hope we are right with our predictions.
Mm-hmm.
And after this podcast airs, I of course tell you when I uploaded it and everything. I want you, as well as I do, to put in a little Instagram vote for their best picture. Well, maybe someone saw all the movies. So
No, I'm gonna go with probably not.
Well,
because I have a lot of horror community people. There are a lot of film people on my Instagram page, but majority of the people, like the main people, are horror community.
Yeah, but maybe they have interest in good movies as well. We'll see. It's worth a try.
Anything besides Scream.
Exactly.
Oh God!
I think you were on the same page as me that we two are much more excited for Halloween Kills than Scream 5.
But what did I tell you last night? The one that I'm most excited for out of all of them.
I can't remember, honestly.
The Conjuring.
Oh, yeah, okay. I totally forgot.
I am more excited for The Conjuring than Halloween Kills and Scream. Don't get me wrong. I love Michael Myers, but I love Jason more. Because I've been asked. They're like, aren't you excited for it? I'm like, I'm excited to see it. But I've just been so disappointed by Michael Myers. Like the franchise. It's like, well, what?
To be honest, we kind of butchered his movies in our Halloween special. We're like, this movie is shitty, and this movie is shitty, and this movie is shitty. Basically, everything but the first.
Exactly. I love the first one, but I am looking forward to seeing the new one. And I was kind of disappointed they canceled it, but I get it, COVID.
Yeah.
The new Scream, yeah, I'm still gonna watch it, but I feel like they could have. It's overkill now, and I find it, like I said, it's all over my newsfeed. But when it comes down to it, we know that don't get me wrong, I love my slasher, my cheesy horror films and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, I am a big fan of the possession, the ghosts, the demonics, all that stuff. So this is why I have been looking forward to the third Conjuring.
Also,
I am
because
so excited.
Both Conjuring movies were really good, so I want to see if they can keep the good work up.
I'm not talking about the other the side stories like the Nun and the Annabelle, those ones, no. But the Conjuring, yeah, I'm so excited for this third one. What is it? The Devil Made Me Do It or something like that. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like this. Yeah, I don't know.
So.
But one more thing, because we talked about it in private, but please give us your unpopular opinion about the Scream franchise.
My unpopular opinion?
Yes.
What did I say? That it should have ended after one?
Exactly.
It should have ended after... And don't get me wrong, I didn't mind the second one.
I just wanted to say, I think the second one is still entertaining. Maybe not as good as the first one, but still not a bad movie. But I wouldn't mind it as well if Scream stopped after the first one.
I find that... Who was I talking to? They said and I laughed so hard when they said it. They find Ghostface is the lazy man slasher. And I started laughing. I'm like...
I think it was the whiny killer or something like this.
Yeah, and also the lazy man. And very whiny and it's the whole freaking family is going after Sydney. Kill her already. Clearly your family sucks if you can't kill her by the fourth movie. And her cousin couldn't do it either.
I'm just looking for it. Here it is. Every killer was pretty much the same. They all whined about Sydney. There was no deviation.
Yeah, and I'm tired of it.
I hope I'm not predicting this right here. I mean, I probably won't, but I said, the killer in Scream 5 is probably her dad because he's mad she left Woodsboro without him.
Maybe, you never know.
If this is really true, I never watch a Scream movie again. Seriously.
You never know what they're gonna do with this one. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm gonna go in it with low expectations and just go from there. But you do know, once this movie comes out, it's going to be a huge blow up on our news feeds.
And another thing I'm going to know is, when this movie comes out, I will be the loudest voice to say, "Ha! Told you so. 6 out of 10. Not a good movie. Suck it."
To who? The whole community?
So the whole community was like, "Oh, Scream 5, Scream 5. No, this movie is going to suck, and you know it. Admit it.
I'm just, you know what? I'm all about the Conjuring. I'm ready for that one. I'm ready for the ghost movies.
Oh,
Thanks for finding that episode for me, by the way. I was trying to find that forever last night.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
So.
I mean, it took me quite a while to find it as well, but I have my ways.
I was trying to find the Conjuring video where the Ghost Avengers investigate the house, and it's taking me, because they did that in 2019 and it took me forever to find it, and then it took you a lot quicker than what it took me. So yeah,
You're welcome.
thank you.
Always happy to help.
Thank you. Alrighty, well, I guess that's it.
Yep, that's it for today. We are talking about 2 hours at this point, so yep.
Excuse me, yawning.
No problem. And
Alrighty.
I guess our next podcast will be movies with K, I think. It was J. Yes, K.
Which won't be a lot anyway, so.
Yeah, it's Killer Clowns from Outer Space and California, and that's it probably. Maybe something like Killer Ants and Killer Crocodile and, I don't know, Killer Slugs, whatever.
Killer Whales.
Free Willy. Oh no, wait, that's a different movie.
Alrighty, until next time.
Okay, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.